Hi, I'm Andrew Corbett. Thanks for watching this video on the prophet Jeremiah and his book. This is Jeremiah part 10, and at this rate we will be finished in about 2016, which is pretty much on track. So we're right on track. So we're looking at Jeremiah. He's the second of the major prophets. You recall that Jeremiah prophesied, in the time frame of prophets, he was after Isaiah. During Jeremiah's ministry, the prophet Ezekiel came up about halfway, sort of right toward the middle end of Jeremiah's prophecy. The prophet Ezekiel begins to feature just in that timeline. And we have Jeremiah, this extraordinary man with an extraordinary message, who is top of the list when Jesus says to his disciples, "Who do people say that I am?" And they say, right at the top of the list, some say, "You are Jeremiah." You've got to wonder, why would they say that? What was it about Jesus that reminded the public of Jeremiah? And I think in this section, and that's what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to look at the prophetic utterances of Jeremiah in sections, and we're going from verse 5, and you'll be thrilled to know that we're actually going to make our way to the end of this chapter. Opening verse of this section, Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 5. "Declare in Judah and proclaim in Jerusalem and say, blow the trumpet through the land, cry aloud and say, assemble and let us go into fortified cities." So here is the prophet. In this section, he has this expression, blow the trumpet. And of course, it conjures the picture of somebody on the walls at the corners and the stations on the wall. There were these things called watchtowers, where the person keeping guard under the threat of war could blow the trumpet, probably nothing like that, and announce to the city, "Get ready, we're under attack." And the prophet Joel would say this in chapter 2 of his chapter, set the trumpet to your mouth, and he uttered these words as well, blow a trumpet in Zion. And here's Jeremiah saying the same thing. In other words, something is about to happen. Now, if you've read the book of Jeremiah, if you know the history of Jerusalem and Israel around this period, you read this and go, well, yeah, because they're about to be invaded. We know that. They didn't. In fact, what we're going to see in a moment is that they were arrogant about the fact they thought that they never could be invaded. They thought that God's presence exemplified in the temple meant that this was like some sort of good luck charm that meant no one would ever attack them. Never. It will never happen, Jeremiah. Never. Well, Jeremiah is announcing this, and we're going to see in a moment just how shocking this was to them, that judgment was about to come. Judgment was about to come. And as Jeremiah is declaring this, he is so out of step with where culture was. He's just completely out of step because everything looked fine. And the prophet is saying, get ready, you're about to be invaded. God is going to destroy this land. Not one person will be left in this city alive. You've got to look at it and go, Jeremiah, what are you talking about? And he says this, an enemy will come from the north, and he calls that enemy a lion. And here's a metaphor that Jeremiah is using of the enemy that was about to come. He calls the enemy a lion. Now, this is very deliberate and it's very specific. At the time Jeremiah was writing this, there was a world empire. And the world empire was Assyria. Assyria was the world empire. We know of Assyria as Persia. But that wasn't the lion that Jeremiah was talking about. Now, curiously, in Assyria, they have found statues of lions. But there was a young nation, so to speak, young in the sense of a world empire, rising up at about this time that was not seen as a threat at all, and it was to Israel's north. And as it was forming under its leader, Nebuchadnezzar, it adopted an emblem. And the emblem was a lion, literally a lion. And here's a photo of a recent excavation. This was done in between 1899 and 1917 by some German archaeologists who uncovered this in ancient Babylon. And it's the picture of a lion trampling a man. You may be able to make out that there's a man under there being trampled on by the lion. And it speaks of the might of the Babylonian Empire conquering surrounding nations. Unearthed around 1899 to 1917. This is the picture that Jeremiah is giving. A lion is coming out of the thicket, and he's speaking of Babylon. Now, Babylon was really not a force to be thought of at all. So if Jeremiah is saying Babylon is going to come in and destroy you, they would have looked at like, Babylon? It seemed nonsensical.
Thanks for watching this video on Jeremiah. We really think that the book of Jeremiah is probably one of the most important books of the Bible. It certainly gives good reason to believe the claims that the Bible presents about who God is, what his relationship to mankind is, and especially the prophet Jeremiah and what he has to say to the people of Israel. In this clip, which is continued in this DVD, Jeremiah Part 10, Judgment Was to Come, which you can get and order off Legana.org, www.legana.org, and you can see how you can order this video and the entire series on Jeremiah, ideal for you to watch individually with your small Bible study group or as a church. We'd love you to screen this and to use this to promote God's Word as well. Thanks for watching this. I'm Andrew Corbett.